Well, for more on this, I'm joined now by William Davison. He's a senior analyst at the International Crisis Group and joins us from Cambridge in the UK. I know it's hard to know the full extent of the humanitarian crisis in Tigray, but from what you know, how critical is it for aid agencies to get access to refugees and other people in the region?
Well, it's very critical because there was already a large number of people in Tigray, like 1.6 million overall, who were dependent to some extent on assistance, so living in very vulnerable conditions. And then since the outbreak of conflict on the sort of 4th of November, there's been really no access to aid agencies and no real functioning of markets or transport systems. So those people in very precarious conditions, that's been exacerbated. And we believe, in addition to refugees that have fled to Sudan, the UN believes there might be something like 1 million people in Tigray, an additional 1 million who've been displaced by the fighting. And because of the lack of access for aid agencies, journalists, other independent entities, we really don't know what sort of conditions those people, those 1 million who've been displaced, are living in currently.
Mm-hmm. And with other people fleeing to neighboring countries, what does that mean for the potential to destabilize the region?
Well, the flow of refugees into neighboring countries has been about 50,000 people so far. That's compared to the 1 million people possibly displaced inside Tigray. So it's a relatively small amount. Obviously, they are living in very difficult circumstances in Sudan, but there's no cause for immediate sort of regional destabilization because of that flow. Instead, what we have in Tigray is a very serious internal conflict in Ethiopia. Now, the federal government says it's made major advances in its achieving its objectives. And clearly it has in taking control of the regional government in the capital. But we think there is significant ongoing fighting in Tigray, and the leadership of Tigray that the federal government is seeking are still at large. This raises the possibility of a protracted conflict. If we have that sort of protracted conflict, it could eventually weaken and destabilize Ethiopia overall. That could lead to a very serious regional impact, possibly.
There are reports that Eritrean troops have been fighting alongside Ethiopian troops in Tigray. If that's true, how significant is this? What does that mean for the potential for this to spread into a larger regional conflict?
Well, obviously, the involvement of Eritrean troops just in itself means that the conflict is regionalized. And at the moment, I would say that the evidence is stacking up that there has been some Eritrean engagement. We've seen the UN and NGO allegations I've received about the Eritrean military presence at the refugee camps for Eritreans in Tigray. We've also seen the US State Department say that they are aware of credible reports and that if Eritrean troops are there, they should withdraw immediately. Now, both governments, Eritrea and Ethiopia, are denying this. From the beginning, Tigray leaders have said there is very significant Eritrean involvement. It looks now that we have some form of Eritrean engagement, and it's a question of establishing just how significant that has been.
Okay, we're going to leave it there for now. William Davison, thank you.